9 News at 9 starts right now.
Good evening. I'm Alexandra Lewis.
And I'm Kyle Clark. We now know the names of the 6 people who died at a dairy farm in Weld County this week. Within the last couple hours, the Weld County coroner publicly identified them. 17-year-old Oscar Espinoza Leos, 40-year-old Ricardo Gomez Galvan, 32-year-old No Montañez Casañas, 36-year-old Jorge Sanchez Peña, 50-year-old Alejandro Espinosa Cruz, and 29-year-old Carlos Espinosa Pardo. A family tells us the last 3 men were working for an electric company. They were called to the Prospect Valley Dairy near Keensburg on Wednesday. That night, they were among the 6 people found dead in the confined space there. Coroner's office says that they were likely killed by a gas exposure. There's no official cause of death yet. Industry experts say hydrogen sulfide gas from decomposing manure may have played a role.
Usually it's in 2s or 3s. Oftentimes it's 2s. One person goes in and they succumb, and then another person goes in after them. But I've never seen 6. Never. That's a lot.
Coroner's office says they have completed the autopsies on all of the victims, but they are still waiting on additional testing. OSHA is also investigating.
We're following a developing story along the western slope. The U.S. Forest Service says a helicopter assigned to the Derby fire went down this afternoon. The pilot is okay, suffering what the Forest Service describes as only minor bumps and bruises. The Forest Service is still working out all the details, but they do say there's an unconfirmed report that the helicopter ended up in a lake 13 miles northwest of the Eagle County Regional Airport in Gypsum. There are dozens of firefighting crews working to put out the Derby fire. Lightning started it north of Dotsero last Saturday. It's burned more than 4,100 acres. Firefighters have not been able to get any containment on it yet. We're working to learn more about that incident with the helicopter, and of course we'll bring you more details as soon as they come into the newsroom.
Let's check in with 9 News meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen after a decidedly cooler day.
Oh man, it felt so comfortable out there. The temperatures really came through for us. 81 degrees was the highest temperature in Denver today. The rain showers have been very light and isolated, and they keep on coming. We could be seeing these light rain showers all the way until about a couple hours after sunrise tomorrow. Temperatures are going to be nice again tomorrow, likely below 80 degrees. We'll introduce the southeast part of Colorado into the nice cool weather, but the western slope, sorry, you got to wait one more day to get some cooler temperatures, as we got some upper 90s out there in Grand Junction again. Here's your weekend here in Denver. We'll stay cool with rain chances again on Sunday, but really Monday is the day we're watching for the more widespread potential for those heavy rain showers. That's why we have a potential weather impact alert. I'll tell you about that in the full forecast just a few minutes.
It began as a desperate call for help. A park ranger saying that he had been stabbed on a trail in Jefferson County.
Deputies shut down Staunton State Park and started this huge manhunt for an attacker who, according to new court documents, may have never existed. 9 News reporter Rhea Jaw is here. Rhea, we know the ranger was stabbed, but investigators say he did this to himself.
Yeah, according to those court documents, this park ranger went into great detail describing a suspect, insisting that attack was premeditated and even giving a second-by-second account of how he was stabbed. But investigators now say the whole thing was made up. Why? Why would someone stage their own stabbing and set off a manhunt for an attacker who never existed? It's what investigators are now alleging a CPW ranger did at Staunton State Park this week. Court records now show CPW wildlife ranger Callum Heskett radioed in a fight on Old Mill Trail Tuesday morning. Through his radio, colleagues heard him yelling things like, "Get back," and "He's fighting me," before saying he'd been stabbed.
6 feet tall, 200 pounds, gray shirt, blue jeans, brown hair.
Heskett told deputies a 6-foot-tall man in jeans and a gray shirt cursed at him, attacked him, and stole his knife before stabbing him in the lower left abdomen. Remember that specific detail. The call triggered a massive multi-agency SWAT response for a day-long manhunt that shut down the park. Investigators searched for a suspect who was never found. 2 men were even detained and questioned, but neither of them matched the description. Investigators noticed problems with Heskett's story. His clothes were clean, despite him saying he'd been wrestled to the ground. There were no defensive wounds. And when he was pressed, he admitted to leaving out key details, blaming painkillers for the lack of memory. Heskett said yes when investigators asked to look at his phone. And in his search history, Google searches for 3.5-inch stab wound to the lower left quadrant. How deep are arteries in lower abdomen? It showed that he viewed Reddit posts relating to stabbing, one of them titled, "Casual question, if someone gets stabbed." Investigators still don't know why, but they do know when Heskett gets out of the hospital, he will be going to jail. So I confirmed tonight Heskett is still in the hospital. He now faces 6 charges, including attempt to influence a public servant, false reporting, and official misconduct. A little background on this guy. He's 26 years old. He'd only been with Parks and Wildlife since May, and before that he worked as a Lafayette police officer for 7 months, so very short-lived employment history. Ria Jha, 9 News.
The Arapahoe County Coroner's Office is investigating after somebody found a body in a restroom at a hospital in Aurora. The discovery happened yesterday at the HCA Health 1 Aurora, right off of South Potomac. It's not clear how the person died and how long they had been in the restroom. Aurora police say there's no evidence this death was suspicious.
Governor Jared Polis is calling for the resignation of a fellow Democrat, Pueblo County Coroner Brian Cotter. Improperly stored bodies were found at Cotter's privately owned funeral home. All the governor can do is ask him to leave because coroners are elected officials.
At this time, Mr. Cotter has not resigned. I think it's important to understand that none of the county elected officials, nor the governor, have the statutory authority to remove the coroner. Additionally, the governor has declared a disaster emergency. This action mobilizes state resources to respond to this incident and to protect public health and safety.
An inspection at Davis Mortuary Wednesday led to the discovery of about 20 bodies hidden behind a door inside the funeral home. Some are believed to have been there as long as 15 years. Families that have used Davis Mortuary are now left wondering if their loved ones were the ones in the hidden room.
You wrecked us. Not only did we lose somebody we loved, but you just opened up that box of tears for how long and questioned them out for a lifetime.
It's an awful thing that they've done, that they've taken advantage of so many people for so long.
It was tragic watching her pass a year and a half ago, and then to see my wife have to go through this again is just, it's not good.
And I just wonder if this is her in here.
Davis Mortuary was ordered by the state to suspend operations. The governor's declaration sends $300,000 from the state's emergency reserves to help with this case and investigation. The Fremont and El Paso County coroner's offices are stepping in to help manage the day-to-day operations in Pueblo County. Cotter has not been charged with a crime at this point.
A judge rejected a plea deal today for the former funeral home owner accused of improperly storing nearly 200 bodies. John Halford co-owned the Return for Nature Funeral Home in Penrose. Well, in October 2023, investigators uncovered 191 improperly stored corpses after neighbors reported a foul odor. Halford pleaded guilty to state charges of abuse of a corpse, forgery, and money laundering. Today, a judge rejected his plea deal after hearing from dozens of victims. The plea agreement called for 20 years to be served at the same time as the 20-year federal sentence. Halford is expected back in court next month. In an emergency, every second counts, and South Metro Fire believes a new program buys them a little more time.
So they now have the tools to perform blood transfusions in the field before they even get a patient to the hospital. 9 News reporter Shalima Maharaj is in Cherry Hills Village. And Shalima, this is the first in the Denver metro area.
Yeah, South Metro is the first fire agency in the Denver metro area to have blood on board. Now, this was already being done in Colorado Springs, and so they looked to programs there as well as San Antonio and New Orleans to get some inspiration. And after years of planning, here they are.
So we keep it on 2 of our EMS supervisor rigs.
For the last couple of weeks, South Metro Fire EMS Battalion Chief Troy Angelo has been carrying a supply of blood in his rig.
The blood has to stay within a 35 to 40 degree temperature range.
On August 4th, South Metro became the first fire agency in the Denver metro area to carry blood in the field.
The patients who benefit the most are those in hemorrhagic shock, which is the medical term for when somebody loses so much blood that they're not able to keep up with their body's demands.
They've teamed up with Advent Health Parker Foundation.
So the type of blood that we're using is what we refer to as emergency release blood.
Dr. James Kempema is Advent Health's EMS medical director.
So typically O negative, occasionally O positive.
The foundation is footing the bill for the blood supply, so it won't be tacked on to a patient's bill.
somebody has a traumatic injury, they're shot, they're stabbed, they're in a car accident.
Ryan, we're gonna need a tourniquet.
If we can help that person by transfusing them before they get to the hospital, the chance of them dying goes down. The chance of them requiring additional blood products goes down.
South Metro says having this supply at the ready has been a game changer, especially in a mission-critical environment.
And if we don't give them the blood that they need in a particular amount of time, then it can be catastrophic in the end.
Now, their blood supply is good for up to 42 days. Now, they hold on to it until they have a couple of weeks left, and then they take it back to the blood bank so it doesn't go to waste. Now, South Metro tells us that at this stage, they have so far transfused at least 3 people since launching this program. Live, Shalima Maharaj, 9 News.